Welcome everyone. Today we will explore the fascinating world of how our body's control and coordination systems work. Join us as we take a journey through the brain and spinal cord to learn how the human body maintains balance and keeps us healthy. The human body is an incredible machine composed of several interconnected body systems that operate together to sustain its functions and react to the fluctuating environment. Control and coordination are two essential processes that carry out this. Our nervous and endocrine systems play a great part in regulating and coordinating the body's actions. These systems coordinate activities such as muscle motion, hormone production, and senses processing. Together, these systems make sure our bodies are able to adjust and stay in equilibrium, no matter our regularly altering environment. The nervous system is an intricate and essential body in the human body. It consists of two parts. The central nervous system, made up of the brain and the spinal cord, essential for controlling all the body's activities. And the peripheral nervous system, composed of motor neurons, sensory neurons and the connecting network that sends signals from the body to the brain to help it respond to exterior stimuli. Both components work together to ensure the body operates correctly. The neuron is the foundation of the nervous system, the fundamental unit of the human body. It consists of the nucleus or cell body, which holds the genetic material required to send signals, and the axon and dendrites, which act as paths for such transmissions. These parts work together to allow communication between the neurons and the rest of the body, thus establishing the essential nervous system. The human nervous system is comprised of the central nervous system, composed of the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, composed of the nerves connecting the CNS to the rest of the body. The brain, spinal cord, and nerves are all vital components of the nervous system that serve an imperative function in regulating and controlling our assorted bodily functions. The nervous system is an immensely intricate system of major importance in regulating the body's operations. It is composed of two main parts, the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The CNS is composed of the brain and the spinal cord, while the PNS is composed of nerves connecting the CNS and the remainder of the body, managing the sensory features. The PNS and CNS work cooperatively to dispatch and receive signals between the brain and the body, enabling us to think, feel, act and reply correctly to the atmosphere. Ganglion cells are nerve cells found in clusters within the nervous system. These cells serve as the coordinators and controllers of the body, sending signals between the brain and the body's nerve pathways. This connection of ganglion cells allows for information to travel around the body. Through this network, ganglion cells are responsible for creating a foundation for the body's own coordination and control. The axon of a neuron is responsible for transmitting messages away from the cell body, whilst the dendrite receives information from the next cell. The nucleus, mitochondria and other organelles are held within the cell body, which is mainly responsible for the maintenance and growth of the cell. The nucleus is a key component, containing genetic information and controlling the production of proteins. Synapses are essential for the coordination of activity within our bodies, forming a bridge between neurons to allow for the transmission of impulses. Made up of tiny gaps between neurons, these synapses are filled with neurotransmitters, chemicals that facilitate this communication. Synapses serve a vital role in communicating between different parts of the body, enabling us to do complex activities such as walking and talking, as well as forming memories and controlling our emotions. As such, they have a direct effect on both our physical and mental well-being. Sensory neurons play a critical role in our capacity to engage with and comprehend our environment. They make it possible for us to discern and react to fluctuations in sound, temperature, light, and other kinds of outside stimulation. By transforming these external stimuli into electrical signals, they make it possible for us to decipher and react to them suitably. Motor neurons are a key component of the control and coordination system of the human body. They act as a connection between the brain and muscular activity, transmitting instructions from the brain and the spine to the muscle fibers, allowing us to carry out conscious and unconscious movements. Furthermore, motor neurons enable us to coordinate our movements by transferring messages to our muscles, assisting us in performing motions in a regulated way. Were it not for motor neurons, voluntary and involuntary muscular function would not be feasible. Neurons which relay messages are a key component of the central nervous system. They transmit signals between different areas of the body and also from external sources to the CNS. These neurons offer a major contribution to the orderly functioning of the body, forming a vital bridge between the various elements. The central nervous system is composed of two distinct parts, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is responsible for cognitive functions, such as thought processes, interpreting the environment and controlling body movement. The spinal cord conveys the brain's commands to other parts of the body. The CNS is essential for the body's functioning. Nerve impulses play an essential role in communication and coordination of activities within our body. When a dendrite is stimulated, it produces an electrical impulse that is passed along the axon of the neuron. At the end of the axon, the impulse triggers the release of a chemical signal which then crosses the synapse and activates an electrical impulse in the next neuron's dendrite, thus continuing the impulse until it reaches the brain. In this way, nerve impulses can be transmitted, allowing effective control and coordination of activities across our body. An interplay of different types of glands facilitates control and coordination in the human body. Endocrine glands, which are also known as ductless glands, secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream for regulation of different body activities such as metabolism, growth and development and even sexual function. Examples of endocrine glands are the pancreas, adrenal glands, thyroid and pituitary glands, all of which have unique roles in controlling physiological activities. For instance, the pancreas helps regulate blood sugar levels, the thyroid regulates the body's metabolism, and the pituitary gland controls the production of other hormones. Endocrine glands are thus an indispensable element of the body's control and coordination system. Our body is incredibly complex and composed of many systems that work in unison to make sure it functions properly. We salivate when viewing delectable food, feel anxious when we have to take important decisions, and digest a wide range of food. It can cause young children to grow taller, boys' voices to crack during puberty or even enable lactation during motherhood. But how is it that the body is able to coordinate these intricate functions? The response lies in its intricate mechanisms which work together in a synchronized way, making sure these duties are carried out with ease. Hormones are essential for our bodies, helping to regulate and coordinate physiologic processes. These chemicals are released by glands and cooperate with the endocrine system to keep our physiologic functioning in equilibrium. Together with the endocrine system, our nervous system is also involved in controlling and coordinating these physiologic processes. Hormones play an important role in regulating and coordinating the functions of a living being. Through a process of chemical messaging, hormones are released by glands in small amounts and affect the target cells, tissues and organs, either promoting or suppressing reactions. These reactions are slow yet long-lasting, making hormones important for overall regulation and coordination. Glands play an absolutely vital role in our bodies, enabling us by secreting hormones and other substances into our bloodstream to undertake essential processes. Glands can be split into two categories, exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine glands have ducts for releasing their secretions to the outside of the body, like sebaceous glands in the skin, salivary glands in the mouth, and gastric glands in the stomach. Endocrine glands, meanwhile, are ductless and discharge hormones right into the bloodstream. Examples of endocrine glands include the pituitary gland and the thyroid gland. In short, glands are needed for our bodies to work correctly. Hormones are essential for the control and coordination of bodily functions. Produced in the endocrine glands, they travel through the bloodstream and regulate many processes, such as growth, metabolism, reproduction, and behavior. An imbalance of hormones can lead to serious issues, so it is important to maintain a healthy balance in our hormonal systems. Hormones are chemical messengers secreted by endocrine glands which control and coordinate various activities in our body. They travel through the bloodstream, carrying signals to organs and cells. Metabolism, growth, reproduction, response to stress and the activities related to diseases like diabetes are all regulated by hormones. As hormones act as a regulating agent, it is essential to maintain a healthy balance for their proper functioning. The endocrine system consists of glands and organs that create hormones. These hormones are in charge of coordinating and controlling many essential bodily functions, like growth, metabolism, reproduction and response to stress. If these hormones were absent, the body would not be able to operate correctly. The pituitary gland is a vital element of the endocrine system, located near the hypothalamus of the brain. It is often referred to as the master gland, due to its role in regulating the functions of many other organs in the body. The gland is split into two distinct lobes, the anterior lobe, or adenohypophysis, and the posterior lobe, or neurohypophysis, both of which play an important role in the endocrine system. The pituitary gland is an important regulator of several body functions. It assists with the secretion of other glands like the thyroid gland, mammary gland, and gonads. Additionally, it helps control the excretion of water from the kidneys, contraction of the uterus muscles, and the development of the testes and ovaries. Moreover, the pituitary gland produces the hormone growth hormone, which is essential for proper growth and development of the body. An excessive growth hormone prior to puberty can lead to gigantism, which is a disproportionate increase in height, whereas a lack of the hormone will result in dwarfism and stunted growth. Similarly, an excessive production of growth hormone in adults can cause acromegaly, which is characterized by a disproportionate growth of the face, hands and feet. Acromegaly is a rare medical condition caused by an overproduction of growth hormone from the pituitary gland. This can lead to an abnormal growth of the hands, feet, and face. Though there is no cure for this condition, treatments are available and specialists can help manage it. The thyroid gland is a vital organ in the body, as it is responsible for regulating metabolism and tissue growth. It produces a hormone known as thyroxine, which has been dubbed the personality hormone, for its involvement in growth and differentiation. Unfortunately, incorrect secretion of this hormone can result in thyroid disorders. To have a healthy lifestyle, it is crucial to take proper care of this hormone. The thyroid is part of the endocrine system which is responsible for regulating various bodily functions. Hypothyroidism occurs when the thyroid does not produce enough thyroxine, leading to goiter, myxedema, and cretinism. Goiter can be caused by an iodine deficit and can be managed through diet. Myxedema is caused by an underactive thyroid and is generally characterized by low metabolism, weight gain, and thickened skin. Cretinism is a condition affecting developing children and involving stunted growth and mental retardation. Proper diagnosis and treatment can help manage all these conditions. Hyperthyroidism is a medical condition caused by an overproduction of thyroxine, a hormone released by the thyroid gland. Symptoms include increased metabolism, bulging eyes, elevated blood pressure, anxiety, mood swings, excessive sweating, weight loss, and exhaustion. Early identification and treatment is critical to ensure best possible outcomes and reduce the risk of serious problems. Parathyroid glands are located on the backside of the thyroid glands and produce parathyroid hormone, or parathormone, which helps regulate the amount of calcium ions in the bloodstream. If there is a deficiency in this hormone, it can cause painful muscle cramps. Excess of this hormone can lead to calcium being removed from bones, causing them to become soft and spongy. It is essential to keep the right balance of parathyroid hormone to ensure the body's control and coordination system works correctly. Adrenal glands, located within the kidneys, are essential for controlling and coordinating the body's response to stressful or dangerous situations. Each gland is composed of two parts, the outer cortex and inner medulla. The outer cortex secretes hormones aldosterone and cortisol, while the inner medulla produces hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline. The latter is referred to as the emergency hormone, since it is released in large amounts when the body needs to prepare for a critical event or when facing a dangerous situation. Adrenaline is released directly into the blood and distributed to different parts of the body, particularly the heart, which enables it to beat faster and supply more oxygen to the muscles. Additionally, it causes the diaphragm and rib muscles to contract, thus increasing the rate of respiration. The pancreas is a gland that has both exocrine and endocrine functions. Its endocrine cells, called the islets of Langerhans, secrete two hormones: insulin and glucagon. Insulin helps to regulate blood sugar levels by increasing the permeability of cell membranes to glucose, while glucagon is released when blood sugar levels are low to convert it to glucose. Diabetes mellitus is a condition where insulin deficiency causes an elevated level of glucose in the blood, often accompanied by frequent urination and thirst. Treatment for diabetes mellitus may involve oral pills or injections of insulin. The pancreas is a vital part of the digestive system. It is the organ responsible for producing hormones which regulate metabolism, like insulin and glucagon, and enzymes that break down food. These enzymes assist in absorbing the necessary nutrients from our meals. The pancreas also balances the amount of electrolytes in our body, helping us stay healthy and functioning optimally. Gonads are essential for the production of gametes and hormones. The male reproductive system testes produce testosterone, the primary male sex hormone needed for secondary sexual characteristics to form properly. If testosterone is deficient, underdevelopment of masculine features may result. In the female reproductive system, the ovaries give off estrogen and progesterone, which are needed for the development of secondary sexual characteristics and the regulation of the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Estrogen deficiencies may cause infertility, and a deficiency in progesterone can lead to irregular periods. This highlights the importance of gonadal hormones for both males and females. The human brain is an extraordinary organ, composed of various structures and networks that work to enable thinking, feeling, and decision-making. Its complexity provides us with the capability to choose and solve problems. The brain is divided into four primary areas: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the brainstem, and the hypothalamus. Each part is assigned a specific function, and together they enable us to experience the world. By merging knowledge of the brain's structure with research of its functioning, we gain better comprehension of how it enables us to think, act, and interpret our environment. The human body is a complex and sophisticated machine that can perform a wide range of activities. To control and coordinate these activities, the brain acts as the control tower. It receives information from all parts of the body and processes it to determine the next course of action. The brain is divided into two parts, the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The CNS is made up of the brain and the spinal cord, while the PNS is composed of all the nerves that connect various parts of the body to the CNS. The PNS acts as the bridge between the brain and the body parts and enables two-way communication between them. With its well-coordinated network of communication, the body is able to carry out its activities efficiently and effectively. The importance of control and coordination in our nervous system is being discussed. Our brain is vital in processing sensory data and sending out instructions. The spinal cord acts as a means of communication, traveling along its network of nerve cells. Nerves and sensory organs enable us to perceive sounds, smells, and even sensations of pain. Working together, these components aid in proper bodily functioning. The central nervous system is composed of the brain and spinal cord. Both organs are housed inside the cranium, a protective bony box, and the vertebral column respectively. Three external layers of protection, called the meninges, cover the brain and spinal cord, and between them is cerebrospinal fluid, which serves an important role as a shock absorber and nutrient provider to the cells of both the brain and spinal cord. The brain is an incredibly complex organ, responsible for the coordination and control of our entire body. Weighing in at an average of 1,400 grams in adults, it is an essential part of the nervous system. It can be divided into three key regions: the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Each region holds responsibility for different functions, ranging from cognitive thinking to basic reflexes. When these regions function together, we are able to maintain full control of our bodies and live our lives. The forebrain is the main part of the brain responsible for thinking and other important functions. It includes the cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. In the forebrain there are areas that process sensory information and other areas that control muscles movements. This part of the brain also plays a role in hearing, smell, sight, and sensations, as well as helping us interpret and process our environment. The cerebrum is a sophisticated structure of the human brain. It makes up 4/5 of the brain's weight and is divided into two halves, the left and right cerebral hemispheres. The outer region of the cerebrum, the cortex, is composed of neurons that give it a grayish hue. The inner part, the medulla, on the other hand, is made up of nerve fibers giving it a white color due to the myelin sheath. It is further provided with ridges called convolutions that increase its area, and this is believed to be the cause behind the high level of intellect in humans. The cerebrum obtains information from sense organs and is responsible for managing learning, memory, emotion, intelligence, thinking, and speech. The nerves from the right side of the body are connected to the left side of the cerebrum and vice versa. The diencephalon is an essential part of the forebrain, consisting of both the thalamus and hypothalamus. The thalamus serves as a bridge between incoming signals from the sense organs and the upper regions of the brain. The hypothalamus, on the other hand, is responsible for managing various bodily processes, such as temperature, hunger, and emotion, as well as sexual activities. Located deep within the brain, the diencephalon is an important center for many bodily functions. It is composed of two main parts, the right and left thalamus. The right thalamus is responsible for activities such as controlling the coordination between different body parts, while the left thalamus is in charge of regulating emotions and the glands. Combining the two, the diencephalon gives us the ability to think, move, and act in an organized and regulated way. The midbrain is a small yet critical component of the brain, linking the cerebrum to the hindbrain. It incorporates areas involved in both vision and hearing, and it also sends motor signals to the limbs. Therefore, it is indispensable for controlling and organizing our sensory and motor functions. The hindbrain is the posterior-most part of the brain, connected to the spinal cord. It comprises three parts: pons varolii, cerebrum and medulla oblongata. Pons varolii consists of nerve fibers connecting various parts of the brain and has control centers for facial expression, respiration and mastication. The cerebellum is responsible for maintaining the posture and equilibrium of the body and coordinating the voluntary muscles of the body. The medulla is in charge of most involuntary actions such as heart rate, blood pressure, the movement of food in the alimentary canal, and salivation. The spinal cord consists of the gray matter and the white matter, the former comprising cell bodies of neurons and the latter comprising nerve fibers. 31 pairs of spinal nerves connect these two parts, and these are further divided into branches that extend to various parts of the body. The spinal cord is responsible for controlling reflex movements and connects to the vertebrae, where the cauda equina of nerve roots originates. The spinal cord is an essential part of the central nervous system, responsible for controlling and coordinating the body's movements and reactions. It is a long bundle of nerves that stretches from the brain and down the back, composed of 4 distinct regions. This slide provides an insight to the structure of the spinal cord, allowing us to better understand its role in the body. Our brain is the control and coordination center of the body, thus requiring protection. The cranium, a bony box, and its surrounding cushion-like material provide the safety required. The spinal cord is equally safeguarded by the vertebral column, the tough, curved rod of bone. This duo of structures together ensure our brains are secure, allowing us to operate efficiently and accurately. Our brains are truly remarkable. Not many people know that they send signals at a staggering rate of 240 miles per hour. The amount of nerve cells it contains is also incredible, more than 10 million. Interestingly, the ant has the largest brain-to-body ratio of any other animal. To top it off, brains require a whopping 25% of the oxygen used by the entire body, an unbelievable figure. The peripheral nervous system is involved in control and coordination, consisting of the 12 pairs of cranial nerves arising from the brain and the 31 pairs of spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. These nerves link the central nervous system to the rest of the body, allowing messages to be transferred between the brain and the body, whilst also controlling reflex actions. This system is vital for control and coordination, and is a key component of the body's functioning. The autonomic nervous system plays an important role in helping our body to maintain its vital functions. It consists of 2 networks, the sympathetic system, which contains nerves that lead to all internal organs and glands, allowing them to control the actions of smooth muscle tissues, and the parasympathetic system, which is composed of the vagus and pelvic nerves, and functions opposite to the sympathetic system, slowing down body processes. Altogether, it is essential for the body to complete its commands and maintain an optimal balance. The nervous system is the most important yet complex coordinating system in the human body. It is responsible for controlling and coordinating responses to both internal and external environment through voluntary and involuntary actions. To do so, it causes chemical, electrical and physical responses to external stimuli. For instance, when touching a hot surface, the nervous system gives off a sensation of pain and causes an immediate reflex to pull away from the source of pain. Additionally, this system is essential for maintaining homeostasis in the body, which includes regulating temperature, blood pressure, respiration, metabolism and other body functions. Reflex actions are a unique and important aspect of life, allowing us to rapidly respond to external stimuli such as light, heat, sound, touch and taste without conscious thought. For instance, reflexes let us close our eyes to shield them from a bright light, withdraw our hands when we encounter something hot and salivate when we consider a favorite food. All of these reflex actions are fundamental for survival and living healthily. Our bodies possess the capability to answer to different types of stimuli in a variety of manners. Responses of the body can be divided into voluntary, involuntary and reflexive actions. Voluntary actions are those that are controlled according to our conscious decisions, while involuntary reactions, such as digestion, and reflexive actions, which do not involve mental processes, are not under our conscious authority. It is stunning how our bodies can reply to external stimuli in a nearly countless amount of ways. Reflex arcs have been a major factor in our evolutionary development, allowing us to respond to external stimuli without conscious thought. They form a crucial part of our body's control system, connecting the sensory neurons to the muscles responsible for responding to the environment. This complex and remarkable mechanism is an indication of how well our bodies are designed to protect us and promote our safety. Reflex arc is a vital part of the body's control and coordination system. It is a series of events that starts with a particular stimulus, like a finger getting pinched, and ends with the body's reaction to the stimulus, such as the fingers immediately pulling away. Composed of 5 components, the reflex arc includes receptor, sensory neuron, association neuron, motor neuron, and effector. Receptor is the sense organ like skin detecting the stimulus. Sensory neuron conveys the nerve impulse from the receptor to the spinal cord or brain. Association neuron facilitates to transmit the nerve impulse from the sensory neuron to the motor neuron. Motor neuron then transmits the nerve impulse to the effector, which can be muscles or glands, causing the body to respond. Thus, reflex arc is essential for the body's control and coordination. Reflex responses are an essential component of our anatomy. Pavlov categorized them into 2 sections, unconditional and conditional reflexes. Unconditional reflexes are innate, involuntary responses passed down from our ancestors. An example is blinking when a thing is brought near our eyes. In comparison, conditional reflexes are obtained during our lives, and differ from individual to individual. They are controlled by the brain's cortex, and can be easily picked up or forgotten depending on our surroundings. Some examples of obtained reflexes are playing the piano, learning to type on a computer, and others. Feedback mechanisms help control the production of hormones, ensuring the right amount is released at the right time. Moving on to the next slide, we will explore how technology can offer more opportunities for people, notably in the areas of medical care and education. Feedback mechanisms are essential for control and coordination within the body. Positive feedback causes a response to be amplified after receiving feedback, aiding in speeding up processes in the body. Negative feedback, in contrast, produces a reverse response, which is usually used to slow down or stop a process. Knowing and making use of these feedback mechanisms allows us to keep internal balance in our bodies. Control and coordination rely on 2 types of mechanisms: positive and negative feedback. An example of a positive feedback mechanism is the process of childbirth, where the hormone oxytocin is released to intensify uterine contractions. An example of a negative feedback mechanism is when eating a carbohydrate-rich diet triggers the pancreas to secrete insulin to maintain a stable level of glucose in the blood. Our bodies are able to maintain equilibrium through these intricate mechanisms. When discussing control and coordination, it is crucial to understand the concept of a negative feedback loop. This system takes any output into account and uses it to measure whether errors have been made. This dynamic is applied to numerous industries and can be beneficial in monitoring progress and making the necessary changes. Presentation today focuses on control and coordination in biology and many interesting facts. In 1921, insulin was first extracted from a dog's pancreas at the University of Toronto. Human insulin, called humulin, is produced with human genes in beneficial bacteria, E. coli. Hormones are a major part of control and coordination and can control metabolic, morphogenic, mental, growth maturation and reproductive activities, as well as the activities of other endocrine glands. This ultimately helps to preserve homeostasis in the body. Plants lack a central nervous system and muscles, but they can still move. Tropism is the term used to describe how plants adjust to their environment by means of their tendrils and roots, as well as the chloroplasts that allow them to move in response to light, gravity, and other stimuli. This movement is also evident in the opening and closing of their flowers and leaves. Movement is essential to the survival of plants, as they use the available resources to move around and adapt to their surroundings. Tropism refers to the way plants coordinate and control their own movements, enabling them to grow and thrive. Plants demonstrate an astonishing capacity to react to incitements. From the touch-me-nots that overlap their leaves when contacted, to the sprouting of a seed and directional development of the root, plants respond to outer components with developments. A few of these developments are dependent on development, others are autonomous of it. As we watch these astonishing occurrences of control and coordination, it is an update of the outrageous innovativeness of nature. Plants can exhibit movement without requiring growth. An example of this is the touch-me-not plant, which changes shape due to environmental factors such as temperature, light, and touching the plant. This movement is the result of osmosis, or the plant's ability to regulate the amount of water passing through its cells. By modulating its environment, the plant can move to a place that is more conducive to growth. Investigating this process further may provide insight into the intricate and subtle methods that plants employ to control and direct their movement. Plants demonstrate a type of movement known as growth-dependent movements, such as in peas and grapes. Tendrils growing stems coil and cling onto a nearby object upon contact. Plants respond to external stimuli by gradually growing in a specific direction. This directional growth leads to an upward stem movement and a downward root movement. Nastic movements are mechanisms which allow plants to react to their environment. An example of this is the touch-me-not plant whose leaves droop when touched regardless of the direction of the stimulus. By responding to external changes, plants can increase their chances of survival. The Venus flytrap has fascinated scientists for years due to its remarkable ability of complex movement in plants. Its leaves act as trap lobes, swiftly moving to catch insects when they come near. It is an incredible example of nature's ingenious solution to a problem, demonstrating its efficiency and intelligence. An important concept in relation to plants and their environment is tropism. This is a natural response to various stimuli, including light, gravity or touch, that influences a plant's growth. This can be either beneficial or detrimental to the plant, allowing it to find the optimal position to absorb nutrients and light, and avoiding any potential obstructions. Additionally, tropism plays a key role in the coordination of a plant's different components, all of which are essential for its survival and growth. Plants employ different tropisms to react to various environmental stimuli, ranging from the sun to the soil. Phototropism is the plant's reaction to light, geotropism is the reaction to gravity, Chemotropism is the reaction to a chemical stimulus such as carbon dioxide, and hydrotropism is the reaction to water. All these types of tropisms help plants survive in their environment. Phototropism is a biological response seen in plants where the organism grows in response to light stimuli. Sunflowers are a prime example of positive phototropism, with their flower heads orienting from east to west, to follow the sun. Generally, shoots display more positive phototropism than roots, which show a negative response. This explains the origin of certain fruits, such as groundnuts, which originate underground. Before fertilization, the ovary stalk of the plant is positively phototropic, and following fertilization, it changes to negative, causing the fruits to develop subterranean. Geotropism, chemotropism and hydrotropism play vital roles in controlling and steering plant development. Geotropism is a directional growth response to the force of gravity, resulting in shoots growing up and roots growing down. Chemotropism is a directional growth response to chemical stimuli, for example growth of the pollen tube to the ovule in the ovary. Hydrotropism is directional growth in response to water, with roots of some plants growing towards the water source, not necessarily below it. Control and coordination are essential to ensure plants are able to thrive in their surroundings. Chemotropism is a form of plant movement in which the roots or shoots move towards or away from certain chemicals. This helps plants in locating essential resources like water or avoiding toxicity such as salt. By responding in this way, the plant ensures its growth and survival. Hormones are specialized chemical messengers in plants that play a pivotal role in the coordination of growth and development. They enable plants to respond to stimuli from the environment very rapidly and with precision. While there are many different types of hormones, they each play a specific role in regulatory processes, like long-distance signaling. Through this control and coordination, plants are able to regulate their growth and development to optimize their chances of survival. Phytohormones are a special class of chemical substances that have an important part in monitoring and arranging growth, development, and responses to the environment in plants. These hormones are created in one region of the plant and then relocated to other parts of the plant where it is necessary. For instance, a hormone generated in the roots can be carried to other parts of the plant. There are different types of phytohormones, including auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. All these hormones are used as obligatory signals to manage cell division, growth, and development in plants. Understanding how auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins work is integral to gaining a better insight into the complex mechanisms that control and coordinate plant growth and development. Auxins are responsible for phototropism, the process by which plants move and bend towards light. Gibberellins promote cell division in the internodal region of the stem, aiding in stem elongation. Finally, cytokinins promote cell division, particularly in areas such as the tip of the shoot. We discussed two plant hormones, abscisic acid and ethylene, and how they facilitate fruit ripening as well as ways to prevent over-ripening. Abscisic acid is responsible for seed dormancy, shedding of leaves, and stomatal opening and closing. Ethylene, on the other hand, is produced during the ripening of fruits. Spraying ethyl, a dilute solution of 2-chloroethylphosphonic acid, facilitates artificial fruit ripening. To prevent over-ripening, a high concentration of carbon dioxide inhibits the production of ethylene. We hope this overview has been helpful in giving an understanding of the control and coordination of plant hormones and fruit ripening. Steroids have recently been discovered to be a sixth category of plant hormones, with studies showing an involvement in plant growth as well as the regulation of various activities like responses to stress and invaders. It is anticipated that this breakthrough will lead to improved crop production in the future.